So it's been nearly a month, between the holidays, a convention, and possibly moving apartments. In the end, it looks like I'm not moving, though working things out ate up a lot of time. But I'm back, and now we finally get into properly talking about Girls und Panzer der Film. As always, we'll start near the beginning. So, today, we'll be taking a look at the opening battle of the movie from a storytelling perspective. And there are quite a number of things worth touching on here. This week's video is brought to you by the upcoming original manga Amaranth Angels. Cute anime girls, starfighters, and exciting space battles, and a fun space adventure. Written by a Girls und Panzer fan, for other fans of Girls und Panzer and military moe in general. The first full volume will be out sometime in 2025, and I now have a pre-order store live for anyone who missed the Kickstarter campaign. Now, onto the video. Every battle in Girls und Panzer is more than just a fun, action-packed spectacle. Even when it might not be immediately obvious, there are always storytelling aspects to them that help further the narrative, or otherwise justify their being there, beyond their value as enjoyable action scenes. The first battle of their film, which, while shorter than the film's main battle, is still actually pretty long at over 25 minutes, and it's no exception to this rule. It is easy, however, for this battle to get overlooked, given the masterpiece near the hour-long battle coming later in the film. But this does easily rank among the show's best battles, and there's a lot going on with it. Obviously, there may be some minor spoilers ahead as I briefly talk about this battle. So if you haven't yet watched the masterpiece that is Girls und Panzer der Film, go do so right now, so you get to experience watching it blind for the first time. The usual warning out of the way, let's get into it. On the whole, the primary purpose of this battle at the start of the movie is really to set up the status quo, while also reintroducing the audience to Senshiro. Remember, when Girls und Panzer der Film came out, it had been a few years since the initial season had already concluded. That wrapped up in 2013, with their film releasing in Japan in theaters in 2015. Of course, when I say this battle reintroduced the audience to Senshiro, I don't mean that in a strictly literal sense. While there are some little notes and moments in the battle that can remind the viewer of some of the Senshiro rules in case they forgot, such as how you win a flag battle, that isn't the focus. Rather, it is for us, as it is for those watching in universe, just a friendly exhibition match, demonstrating and reminding us just how fun and exciting this sport is. You can almost compare it to a warm-up for somebody who hasn't done an exercise in a while, or the opening act at a concert. But more than that, it's giving us a hint at what's to come, in terms of just how amazing the battle itself is. This one is already a few steps beyond pretty much all of those in the first season in terms of complexity and creativity. Not to mention the fact that for the first time it tells us that there can be Senshiro matches with more than two schools involved.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Just compare the scope of this battle to anything from Season 1 or the Anzio OVA. While those obviously had more at stake given the plot of Season 1, this battle is a message to the audience that things are stepping up to a new level with the films. We have a bigger battle than ever before, featuring more teams than ever before, and thus a wider range of different approaches and tactics than we've seen in a single battle up to this point. And of course, for us as the viewers, the battle not only introduces Senshiro itself, but also provides a quick reintroduction to many of the characters we grew fond of in Season 1. So all of the Oroai girls, as well as familiar faces from Pravda and St. Gloriana. Oroai, as you'd expect, gets the majority of the focus, with each Oroai tank and crew getting a little short intro right at the beginning, essentially enabling us to pick up right where we left off with Season 1. But of course, this isn't all we should expect from the opening battle to the movie. After all, this is a continuation of Season 1, so there have to be new things, or to be more precise, new people to introduce. We need to move forward after all.
Panzer 4!
So here we get our first look at Rosehip and Clara, as well as Shihatan as a whole. In regard to Shihatan, we'd previously only seen a quick shot of them, having been completely obliterated by Maho and Koromori Mine. We don't get any new Oroai characters here, but that's probably due, in large part, to a few of Orai's teams, like the Anteaters and Leopons, not having gotten much screen time previously. While for major schools like St. Gloriana, with fewer primary characters, this was a fitting time to expand these casts. And Shihatan, as a completely new face in the block, obviously needed several characters of their own introduced. And this battle here was a perfect way to show both the good and the bad sides of the school, and to make these new introductions before the main event begins. All this, of course, also starts setting up what will come into play later, since Chiatan both plays a significant role in the main battle to come, but also even later in Das finale. While this battle's direct impact on the story of their film itself isn't particularly huge, since there isn't too much in it that directly leads to or causes the film's main conflict, though it is the start of a key friendship between Fukuda and Duck Team, something which will remain relevant all the way through Das finale, it does a whole lot to further the overall narrative. Here we see a post-victory Oroai, relaxed, just enjoying Senshiro with no stakes attached for the first time, with friends new and old. Basically the new status quo, only for that to get rudely pulled away from them just a few minutes later, making it all that much harder and fueling everything that follows. Note all the humorous moments in this battle, a sharp contrast to the main battle, which, while not devoid of lighthearted moments, is obviously much more serious, in both a narrative sense and for the characters in universe. There is also no small amount here of foreshadowing of the battle to come, from it featuring more than two teams as I mentioned earlier, to the struggles of Miho trying to command a team of Senshiro competitors who aren't just from Oroai, to Chiatan operating on a single brain cell, to the way the expansive battle expands, then contracts, then expands again, then contracts, till it's pretty much just the two teams' lead tanks remaining, to showcasing the strength and weaknesses of various teams, which will also come into play later. And of course, we have Mika, the Senshiro guru, with her cryptic foreshadowing comments as she watches things unfold.
In the business, we call this...
So even though the outcome of the battle doesn't truly matter, it's still an extremely engaging watch, and there is a measure of tension as the tide swings back and forth until the end. Another fun bit of storytelling here is how long we're kept waiting to find out who St. Gloriana's partner team is, before Pravda's reveal a few minutes in. It's a small detail, sure, but knowing when to unveil something like that in a scene isn't as simple a matter as it seems. We also can't ignore the fact that this battle is taking place in Oroai. While it's of course a callback to Season 1's first battle, it is also symbolically parallel to the main conflict of the film. Here, the girls have a friendly match where they, quote-unquote, battle for control of Oroai. Then, later, Oroai and friends fight a battle to quite literally ensure the survival of Oroai the school ship. And while it simultaneously foreshadows stuff that's to come, this opening battle also has quite a number of additional callbacks, going all the way back to the first battle of Season 1. We once again have Oroai facing off against St. Gloriana, to references to Miho's duel with Maho, to Rukuribi falling for the same trick again, to Caesar referencing something Hippo Team did in the Anzio battle in the OVA, to Rabbit Team trying, and failing, to pull off a repeat of their feats in the Koromoi Mine battle, and much more. To go over every little moment here in detail would probably require a video longer than the battle itself, if not longer than the film itself. But it's very clear that this battle revels in celebrating what came before, which only adds to the shock of learning just after the battle that all the struggle from before, which we were just reminded of, was, apparently, all for naught. Finally, it's also important for us to see Oroai lose here. Part of that is because it keeps Darjeeling as the one opponent they've never beaten, a DOS finale threat I have no doubt they were at least keeping in mind to some extent at this relatively early stage, but even more so, it shows that Oroai can still lose, and that despite their impressive victories in Season 1, they still have what to learn. Of course, given that this is a sports show, we all knew, or at least assumed, that Oroai would find a way to win when it really mattered. But still, being reminded that our heroes can lose naturally increases tension later on, if even only at a subconscious level. As has been the case throughout all of Girls und Panzer, there really are no wasted moments here, in the celebration of the fun of Senshiro before things get serious and truly tense again. From reintroducing the excitement and fun of Senshiro battles, to calling back the moments from Season 1, to setting up both new characters and what is to come later in their film and beyond.
In the business, we call this...
Enough is enough!
This opening battle is perfectly done. And yet, the main battle later on will completely blow it out of the water. Next time, we'll take a closer look at the technical and tactical aspects of this battle, which also help prepare us for the main battle to come, and show how far Girls und Panzer's battles have come in terms of their complexity and dynamism. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support me and what I do here, my books and light novels are all available on Amazon. And you can get early access to videos, sneak peeks and updates on the upcoming Military Mario manga and other projects by subscribing over on Patreon. I also offer channel memberships, which get you access to monthly members-only watch-along streams, in which we're currently watching Space Battleship Yamato. And as always, if you have any thoughts on this video, or just anything Girls and Panzer related you'd like me to talk about, definitely share them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them, and while I might not get to respond to every comment, at least not in a timely manner, I can guarantee that I read each of them. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future uploads. That's all for now, so until next time.